The list, Part 4, the courage to call it to stop. I had an IC session today and he helped me come to terms with the end. We had an MC counseling session not long after. My 99 helped me have a goal of accepting the end if she wanted it and going ahead and severing contact. However, our MC suggested we sit on this for at least a week, have no contact in the meantime, create distance between ourselves, and then come back and see if divorce is what we want. We agreed to that. Honestly, I have not been in my 12 steps meetings for about 4 months. I have stopped praying. I have fallen back into patterns of withdrawal, though not as bad as before. That did not give her any comfort and security. I have to own up to my part here. Tonight, I am at peace. I really am. No anxiety, like a weight is off my shoulders. My AA sponsor fell off the deep end back in November. So tonight I talked with a guy and we agreed to work together. He is a great person and I should have done this months ago rather than trying to go this alone. Yes, whatever happens in my and it is very likely to go to divorce. I have to get myself back into the path I know is most healthy for me. I have also quit meetings for the past 4 months since my sponsor left. Hard to see somebody do that. And since I started teaching, that is not good for me. It pulls me off a path of being helpful to others and into my intellectual world, where I can imagine things, where I can become a perpetual victim and professional blamer. I have not adapted to the commute in a good way that helps me maintain my hard-won gains over this past year. I see it and have felt it for a while. So yeah, back. On the other hand, does it have to be a deal breaker with her? She has responsibility here too, and this is not all about me. So, we both have a role to play and we both have to make choices that lead to a marriage or a divorce. One of the reasons I am so reluctant to do certain things is because I am careful of my own motives and reasons for things. Those really matter. Character matters to me more than getting something over for the sake of getting it over. Things have to end one way or another. But as a person, I want to come through this well, saying I did my best, saying I am better and stronger for it, with few regrets, and I am mostly there right now. I am letting go. Last night and today I called my closest friends and family and told them we are getting a divorce. That sort of thing makes it more real. None of them are shocked and offered support. I've done my best here, but just telling people, real people I know, makes it real and easier to accept. This morning I put in applications for jobs in other cities. I am mentally preparing to move away here, to work and live someplace else without her input at all. I have put that sort of thing off. I will spend the afternoon writing my dissertation, which needs done if I am to get a long-term job in academics. I will also finish a few more applications for jobs in other places. So, I am letting go. I have let go. I am not, however, going to rush up to the courthouse so this can be done on paper. That is not what I agreed to at counseling, and following through on that agreement is important. At the next session, when she says she still wants a divorce, I am going to accept it. I accepted at counseling this last time. I told her if she wanted it, I am okay with it. Go ahead. But she wanted to wait as the counselor suggested. So, I am okay with that. In the meantime, my operating assumption is divorce. I am telling my friends and family. I am making concrete moves to prepare to leave the place I currently live within a few months. To start fresh somewhere where I want to be, a city. Spent the day talking with friends and applying for jobs in Chicago, Milwaukee, and Cincinnati. I also did some inventory stuff on myself, looking at ways I have not responded well. I have not been very gracious or given her the benefit of the doubt quite a bit. And at key junctures, that had to be hard on her. For instance, we agreed to talk on the phone at Christmas and with each other's family. My mother said no, so when W called, I told her that it was not a good idea to talk to family members and did not say why. That really hurt her. She had talked with her mom about it all and such. I probably should have told her what my mother said rather than protecting her, which didn't work anyhow. And then went ahead and spoke to her mother, followed through as best I could. Or how I broke an agreement we made on Sunday to do some exercises our counselor gave us that might help us decide how to move forward, divorce or something else. After a fraught conversation, because she wanted to use a different resource I was unsure about emotional abuse, we finally agreed to something. Then I switched gears 2 days later and demanded a decision. All that was based on insecurity in me about things and an inability to give her the benefit of the doubt rather than place motives on her. So, I have set things in motion sometimes that have caused us turmoil by not following through, by not opening up, by projecting, and by turning my attention to controlling things rather than focusing on keeping myself at an even and steady pace. Able to respond out of a firm place and not fear of pain. She has her own part, but I have my part in having kept all this in a state of deadness. Very difficult to open up to me if I am not communicating things well. Shutting down when things get hard again, and shifting plans rather than going ahead and following through. That is why I am going to follow whatever we decided this past session. We are supposed to have little contact and reflect on ourselves. W said she would text me Friday to just check in, and I was fine with that. And will reply, but will not email, text, or call otherwise till sometime later next week about setting up a new appointment. She will still sit my cats while I am away next week as well. She enjoys that actually. I see this self-reflection as necessary for my own growth. I should have been doing this more over the past few months. That does not mean I think she will do the same, or even if she does that this will be reconciled. But if I cannot deal with myself honestly, admit my part, then how will I be any good in future relationships? Not having really learned to look at myself. None of our talks so far are about our relationship. Our MC said to steer clear of that stuff. That is good advice in my view. I will not talk about that stuff today either. We are both writing articles, in my case a dissertation and in hers a chapter for a book, on a similar topic. So we are going to talk about that stuff today and a lecture series we both attended over the weekend. No need to beat ourselves up with difficult discussions about marriage without some guidance from others. We are both kind of screwed up and need help. I'm at my university, traveling home tonight. Over the past week I have come to accept the end of this marriage. We are meeting with our counselor on Sunday afternoon. I fully expect my W to reaffirm that she wants a divorce. I read over this thread as well as my journal for the past year. Some of the same things I was saying last year at this time are still an issue. Not the EA, but the detachment stuff. A year ago, things really fell apart badly and we've not been able to pick it up again. I see pretty clearly where I pushed her away unnecessarily. I also see pretty clearly where she has continued to push me away unnecessarily. My plan for Sunday is to simply accept whatever she says about ending the marriage, but I also plan to set out my terms. For me to move on, this has to be the end of the relationship, not just the end of the marriage. She wants to be friends. I will not be able to move on with her checking up on me, with continued conversations and such things. I will continue to get sucked back into her world, probably wondering and hoping we can patch things up, never really able to let go. For my own emotional security, I will have to let this relationship go completely, not to punish her or to run away, but simply to be able to actually let it go. So, I plan to start living like a divorced person from that time on, from Sunday onward. I am considering whether to bring a copy of divorce papers with me so we can go ahead and get on with the agreement and not drag it out. I want her to pay the fee, since she is the one who wants the divorce. Not sure if I should say I want her to fill them out and file as well. What do you all think? If she wants it, she should do it, I guess. Maybe I shouldn't bring a copy. We don't need lawyers. No property, a used car, but that will not be a problem. No kids. This can be clean and easy. No bitter fights over such things. That is a good thing. I am also planning to ask for my keys. She currently cat sits for me while I am away teaching. I will try to find somebody else to do this for the next 6 weeks or so. Anyway, that is where I am at. I've told my friends and family that this is coming, which helped make it real to me. I've processed it with my IC, who helped me come up with this plan, and helped me accept that this is the end more than likely. I have also learned where I am at fault for the past few months and am taking steps to get back on track for my own sake. In the meantime, we have interacted quite a bit over the past week. I have been cheerful, upbeat, talkative, inquisitive, and in general pleasant. I have not been withdrawn or sullen. When she has said things that I could take personally, that could push me to get down or withdraw, I have reacted instead with more grace, still continuing to talk, to ask questions, whatever. So, I feel good about how I have behaved this past week. I feel like I am on the right track. I don't want the end of our relationship, but if she wants it, and she cannot and will not actually commit to finding a way to reconcile, to let go of stuff herself, then I'm okay with this. I don't want a dead marriage or relationship. My main focus right now is on finishing my dissertation, finding a temporary job for the next year and a half or so, while I apply for university posts, and making sure I stick to my 12-step work. While up in Milwaukee, I met with a friend who is also getting divorced. He has been separated for 8 months and his wife filed, but was telling me how many regrets he has. He cheated on his wife and drugs were an issue for him. He can't sleep and is only now really processing that he is the primary cause of the trouble in his life and marriage. I tried to be encouraging to him by pointing out ways he could learn from it and such. I left that conversation grateful that I can look back without any of that shame and guilt. Still is not what I want, but it is not because I have not tried or because I just totally screwed things up. I have my part, but I have worked on that stuff and still am. That conversation was a lesson for me that I am doing the right things regardless. I could sit there and not feel ashamed, not have to worry about whether my colleagues will find out how bad I am or whatever. I can be transparent if I need to be. I've done what I can. My W may very well foot drag on the actual filing part. I'm looking for work hard. I can move anywhere, anywhere. There is a certain freedom to that. I will not go just anywhere, but I can. Pretty much I am northern person. A city person. And I don't see myself overseas at all. So, I have MC tomorrow with W. She borrowed our car tonight and will come by tomorrow so we can go to the session. She clearly thinks she is going to continue to borrow it and to cat sit for me while I am away. She mentioned how she needs to borrow it till spring so she can do some things on Sunday. Once it warms, she wants to go back to walking. Yet there is no change really in her basic demeanor and attitude. That statement still indicates that she plans to stay separated and probably sign a new lease when hers is up in May. No basic change in attitude or plans. So, I expect her to reaffirm her choice to divorce. But she expects us to just carry on like this anyhow. She's in for an awakening. I just made the second round of interviews for an editor position at a press. And I will take it if they offer it, till I find a university post in a year or more. I'm making plans to get out of here, and doors may be opening. Even if she were to say that she wants to work on things further. I just don't see any basic change. It would be more of the same. See each other here and there, text about boring stuff about the car and cats, or me helping her in her research. No romance. No real engagement. I'm not interested. That is why I pushed the issue a couple weeks ago. I'm ready to move on if she is not ready to actually commit to a serious process and to letting things go. So, my plan is the same. I am not going to bring papers with me. No need. In my state they have a PDF. I have it filled out. I can send it to her. She can fill out her part. We have no property, no kids, our debts are divided already. There is nothing really to squabble over of any consequence. A used car, maybe, but she won't make that an issue. I plan to accept divorce if she wants it, and if she changes her mind, to say I need some very clear and concrete changes on her end in any case. Without that, I'm ready to end the relationship completely. I don't see her being able to really and honestly committing to anything. Well, we had the MC session and she said she wants a divorce as I expected. Well, she said she would like to talk about moving into a relationship in which we are no longer married. That is, friends. I said that I see this as the end of the relationship. I will not be able to have contact because it will keep drawing me back in, making me wonder and giving me false hope if she is really done. I took her home from counseling. She went to get some books of mine and to write me a check. I had said I would file so that this does not drag out. I am right now second-guessing that decision. Why should I do this when I don't want it deep down? This is pretty hard. No matter how much I think I am ready to hear it, it hurts like hell. I sat in the car for a long while in front of her building. I texted her to say if she actually wants to say goodbye I am still down there. So, she was going to go for a walk and was already out back. She came around, we walked for a few minutes, hugged. I asked if she was sure, asked if there is no chance she could open up to me again. Said something about a future together or kids or whatever. She was crying. Then she walked away. That was that. On the way home a cop gave me a seatbelt ticket. Jerk. I told him what had happened and he still gave me the ticket. Cops can be real pricks sometimes. I called my parents to let them know again. They might help me with some moving expenses in the near future. I cannot stay here. I think I will chase her. If see that I'm from a year ago, I might attack him instinctively. Vain hopes that it would make me feel better. I know it won't, but I'm pretty hurt and I don't need that kind of temptation at present. So, I should probably get the heck out of here soon. This is hard. I want to talk her out of it. I know I can't, but I want to. I just talked to my sponsor. I am going to spend the evening talking to friends and family for the most part. I think I might let the filing part go to her. This is her decision. She can do it. She needs to follow it through if she wants it, to feel the pain of going to the courthouse and such. If she foot drags too long, then maybe I'll need to do it, especially if I move and meet somebody down the road or something. But the more I think about it, the more I think this is her responsibility. I should not have offered to do it, and taking that on myself was a way to control it, to speed or slow it. Unconsciously, this may be a way for me to control this whole thing rather than letting her make the decision and follow through on it. If I don't want it, why file? That is very odd for me to have thought, and it has to do with trying to deal with the pain by controlling the situation rather than actually grieving it. Admitting my powerlessness to make things come out all right is probably the better course. I was supposed to send a note to my W&R/MC saying whether she could cat sit this week as normal. She wanted to and was upset when I said she could not. I am going to allow that. If she wants it, then she can go through the pain and hassle of going to the courthouse. I feel better with it that way. This is on her, so she has to take the responsibility for it. I'm not okay with foot dragging and dangling either. But I can deal with that later if it comes. At that point, I may want the divorce even. I only slept a few hours last night, woke up and could not turn my mind off of all this. I got up and made sure to cancel a credit card that she still had with my name on it. There were recurring charges on it from a few things, but she had not been using it. We built a website together that became kind of popular. I sent her all the login details for it. She can have it, though I would like to see the name change, which she will not do. Other people are involved with that. Not worth fighting about. I'm planning to spend the day looking for work and applying places, as well as writing a little if I can. I should probably clean my apartment as well and look for things to sell off on Craigslist to downsize a little. I thought about going to the apartment office to have the locks changed when I return. Not sure I want to do that though. I will leave a note for her, along with her passport, SS card, and other documents that were in a safe here. And the torn-up check she gave me to reimburse me for filing. The note would have an envelope for her to put the keys in and return them somewhere. Telling her this is the last time she can cat sit. I need somebody to do it though and don't want to pay. So, I might let this slide till I figure out something. We don't see each other while she is here. I am in Milwaukee, not where I live, starting tomorrow. I sent her a chasing email yesterday. No more of that. I did get up this morning with a new resolve to let her be. From now on, if I get any crazy ideas about how I can fix this thing, I will just post the stupidity here or call somebody to tell them what I'm thinking, so they can talk me down. Did that today. Thought of going to her pastor and talking to her, letting her know what is going on. My W has hidden her part in this from almost everybody. Talked to a good friend who attends there who said I should let it be. Won't help anything. Good advice. Too easy to act on impulse right now. Glad I'm traveling 200 miles to Milwaukee in the morning. I need distance. Some people are going to help me with moving expenses once I get things figured out job-wise. That is helpful. I applied to a couple places today again. Can't seem to concentrate on writing though. Too unfocused. Need sleep but can't seem to get it. I'm in Milwaukee, 200 miles from home. Teaching, researching, meeting with friends. This is good. I slept well last night. Got more leads for jobs in editing or teaching in universities. So, I will be following up on those soon. Being here is good for me. My mind is clearer. That place I live is toxic to me. It sucks me into her world, to the world I don't want to be in and have wanted to leave for a long time now. I hate Northern Indiana. I have wanted to leave there ever since graduating from seminary. Teaching also helps. I have to focus on getting my lectures together, and then in class focus on keeping student attention and engaging their questions and comments. I stay with my doctoral advisor and his wife, and at night we watch TV and talk together. That is good too. I have friends here, a whole environment that I am part of with friends and intellectual rigor. And then there is the city itself. It is small, but this is a good place. If I don't find something soon, I am moving here and will take any job for a while. My lease is up June 1st. I'd like to not break it, but it might be good for me to go sooner and just eat the fee they will charge me. She's actually very outgoing and friendly. An extrovert. Through our marriage she has been the one who has kept up with friends. She's usually the life of the room. Very creative, funny, and articulate. However, in the past year or so, since she realized she had some issues with codependency, she has hardened herself up a bit. Especially toward me, but also toward some other people. She's changed. Some of that is for the good. I think IC has been bad for her. She does not have a good counselor. She has been in counseling for a year and a half and has not dealt with her issues like self-harm and abuse as a child. Her counselor was our MC for a while and tried to push us to divorce 3 months into it or so. That MC also hid the EA from me once she became my wife's IC as well. She is from a school of thought that sees personality types as the big thing, which I think is stupid and stifling. Anyway, I think my W's IC has done a lot of harm to her, though she has helped her with the codependency stuff. I feel very fortunate to have had a great IC who pushed me to work on real issues, the ones most pressing and troubling for me, and did not let me off the hook. That plus those AA people. 12-step work again has really been helpful. I went to a lecture tonight at my university, which was very good. A man talked about forgiveness, how he forgave his son's killer and started a foundation. A lot of my students were at the talk, which was good to see. It got me thinking about some things in my life where I need to let go as well. Particularly with the OM from her, it keeps me in the victim chair to hold on to this. Then I went to a vegan place and ate. I like the people who come through there. A pretty young lady kept looking at me and smiling. Felt nice. Not ready to act on anything like that, but it was flattering. Got home last night. This morning I started listing things I will not need when I move and posted some things on Craigslist for sale. It is a good time to downsize my belongings and get rid of things I no longer need or use. Preparation for moving. My cats go with me wherever I go. I adopted them from a shelter and consider them like family. They are great to have around. No burden to me. I could live some places for free if I did not have cats, but I'd rather keep my commitment to them. It's funny, my one cat goes and sits in front of my front door when I leave for a few days to teach. She knows when I am leaving. Lots of anxiety currently. My stomach is in knots. My body feels tense. My mood is definitely down. My thoughts, when they turn to this stuff, and it is hard not to even though I am trying to work, are about how stupid and senseless this whole thing is. Talking with a friend this morning, he told me that from the outside my wife and I look completely compatible, and there is nothing obvious that ever said to him, even now, that we are incompatible and there will be trouble. He said it looks like a lot of little things and all of it can be fixed, but she does not want to do the work. He's my friend, but I met him at her church, where he still goes. His wife is good friends with her. He's divorced himself, so he understands the struggle, which is good. But this is likely to be a rough night. Another tough day anxiety-wise. I did talk to my W today to discuss her cat sitting. She had thought this past week would be her last, so she planned for that. took videos and photos and stuff. But I said I want her to continue to cat sit since I don't want to leave them alone. I'm not moving right now. And a stranger would just stress them an already stressful situation. Megan Plus now changes in the apartment due to selling stuff. Cats get weird about that sort of thing. So, she is going to continue, at least this coming week. We did not discuss anything else. She is set on divorce. Her tone was fairly hard and cool. Nothing new there. Got a very angry and bitter email from my W tonight. Jesus. She is looking for excuses to put things on me. All my fault. She is jockeying for the victim chair like crazy. This is over. Utterly over. Her email is just sad. I could get angry about it, but what is the point? It is just a sad thing that she cannot let go of stuff and has to put all the blame on me right now. It just seals it up for me. The one thing that does bother me though, this Ishihab. It bothers me to think that this person and her could end up together down the road. They work at the same place and she lives a few doors down. He is a few years younger than I am, but is similar in politics, religion, career, education, viewpoints. Part of me wants to take my old phone records to his job and see if I cannot kick up a storm. But I doubt that would help me at all. I doubt it would make me feel better in the long run. But the temptation is still there, to punish and hurt, probably more as a way to deal with my pain. But I know it won't work. My pain will remain regardless. My career will matter to her. I will likely be pretty successful. The more the better. Just got a royalty check from a couple books today. I'm headed to convention in Chicago and have a tattoo appointment booked. Using this extra money for that, a little irresponsible. But I expect to get a more permanent job by that time. Tattoos over the past year have been helpful. A phoenix last year on Good Friday, and some others that I wanted. Had a good day, did some research, taught my courses and spent the evening with my doctoral advisor and his wife whom I stay with. Tomorrow I am headed to an art museum with a friend and to see a movie tomorrow evening with another. Both doctoral students in my program. I'll also do some research in between the museum and movie. I definitely think about my W here, but the pain and hurt are lessened by my work and other activities. And just being in the city, I do miss the calls and check-ins. We used to talk while I am up here, but I'll get past that. Main thing is remembering that I have no control over it, so I have to accept it as is. I should probably sit down sometime and consider what the benefits for me now are that I am free to move and go where I please. I also need to sit down and make some new fourth-step lists, new resentments, fears, and all that to get out in the open and face so that I can move on. I don't want to carry things with me in my head and habits going forward. Back home today, I finished a chapter for my dissertation and turned the chapter in, which is a big accomplishment. 75 pages for one. Will take a couple days break till I get feedback. Till then I will concentrate on painting and applying for work. I sent to see my IC today. I made one last appointment with him for the end of the month, before I move. Then I think I might be done with IC. I am handling this all pretty well. Not chasing, not trying to hurt somebody, not trying to fix things, not running away. Not unaware of why I have anxiety sometimes. Wanting control. Not drinking it off. Not laying around depressed or doing anything unhealthy. I am just continuing to do what I have been doing. Good things. My counselor affirmed for me that he does not think my STBX ever gave the marriage a chance during this separation time. That is the first time he has said that to me. I said I had read back through my journal over the year and she had been saying she only wanted to be friends. That she didn't want to be married, or that she wasn't sure for all that time. He said that over the past months he has not noticed from what I have said that she really had her heart in it. This divorce is not about things I did wrong here. I have some minor regrets from the past year, but even if I'd have been perfectly well behaved and a 100% gentleman all the time, that would not have mattered. This is not about me. There is some comfort in knowing that. I'm starting to tell people that I will only be in this area till the end of the month or at best till June 1st. So that is another way I am preparing to leave. My 99 asked if I am mentally ready to get the papers from my STBX. Not sure. I think so, but we shall see when they come. I wonder if she will actually file at the end of the month when she gets paid. Something tells me that she may hold off and drag her feet. I am moving regardless, and when I move, I will consider myself available. We've been apart a year. I am not ready for some kind of relationship, obviously. But I can certainly go out on casual dates or something at that point. Might have a job in Chicago. Keeping my fingers crossed on it. My best outlook at this point. Cleaned my apartment up and went to a church service this morning. Feeling pretty good today. Somebody is supposed to come by later today or at the latest tomorrow to buy one of my paintings. So, I want my apartment to be in top shape. I don't have any anxiety so far today, which has not really been the norm. I usually have little bouts of anxiety here and there during the day. There are two reasons: grief over the loss of my marriage and also uncertainty about the future. Immediately in needing employment. And also where I am going to be moving in the next couple months. I think this issue of not being settled somewhere is actually more of a problem than the grief over the marriage loss. I applied for another job last night that seems like a good fit. and I have a good chance at this one. So that is part of why I am fairly upbeat so far today. I'll do some painting, maybe a little reading, look for some more jobs to apply for perhaps a little later in the day. Call some friends, work out a bit at home. And maybe a little writing. I made a goal list yesterday with a plan of action for each thing. All immediate goals, not long-term goals. That kind of stuff keeps me focused right now. I haven't yet received divorce papers, but I expect they will come toward the end of the month once my STBX gets paid. She has not made any indication that she has a change of heart. We don't really have any contact except for very brief texts about me getting home from traveling. Home, thanks. To be sure that she doesn't need to care for the cats because I got in an accident or something. Other than that, nothing. Traveling was tough this week as Tuesday brought more snow and some pileups on the interstate from morons who think they should drive too fast in slick condition. As I was contemplating my own demise, or potential, I realized that if I were to get hurt on the road, my STBX would not have come to help me. She would have helped the cats, but not me. This would have been the case for the entire 15 months we have been separated now. And even some before that. She would not move back to take care of me if I had been severely hurt, or even came around to help me recover if it had been less severe. I have some anxiety still occasionally, but that has to do with finding employment for the next year and a half, or at least for the summer. I am at the top of the list for a press but won't hear back for a couple weeks. And there is another potential thing teaching for next school year at a university. But that too will not be firmed up for a while. The waiting is driving me nuts. I'd like to move away from where I live, but I definitely don't want to move twice. There will come a time when my STBX will be but a distant memory of a life I once lived with a person I once knew. Nothing more. No longing for her presence. No hoping for reconciliation. No ill will either, just a distant faded memory. When I was 19, I fell in love with some girl who ended up breaking my heart. 20 years on, I never think about her anymore. I also have no desire whatsoever to reconnect with her or to even try. If I were to see her, I would say hi, and hope that she is well, but that would be all. I would move on without a second thought. Someday, I am sure, that will be how I think about and relate to my current W. That is sad in some ways. But if she wants a divorce, that is what will end up becoming of the relationship we once had. Just something we once did with a person we once knew, but it ended badly and we moved on to other things. Missed my annual Easter Vigil tonight because I am tired and worn out from having anxiety and stuff today. Lots of thoughts about my STBXW. Some days are hard, some days are easy. I have less hard days and more easy ones, but just when I think I am ready, it hits me like a ton of bricks and I cannot focus and my energy drains. I read back over my journal tonight, looking at what I had written since I started one in March last year. I see a consistent message in it from her. I think I want out, but I am scared to do it. Over and over, she told me in words or actions that she only wanted to be friends, didn't want to be married, didn't love me anymore, etc. over and over, yet I stayed here, took financial, physical, and social risks to try to work it out anyhow. I could not believe her, could not let her go. I guess I am learning to let go now. How to let go without covering up the hurt of that with other things, hurting myself by shutting down, hurting others by saying things or whatever. Drinking, using other women, whatever. I'm doing really well on that score. Staying in touch with the hurt, not running from it, but trying to move on through it. This is tough sometimes. Finishing my dissertation is a way to move on and I have been working night and day for the past few weeks to finish. That will be a significant step for me in life. I'll no longer be a student. My job prospects will significantly increase. So, I have been very focused on that, as a way to kind of move on. But today was tough, just couldn't focus as much. Hoping tomorrow is better for sure. Probably will be. Maybe I will go out of town. My comment, is OP finally maturing? Although I dislike the fact that he waited till the end for the divorce. I think he will start to do alright moving forward from here. Final ending coming tomorrow morning. I'm going to go out for a jog. See you in the part 5 ending.